Hello, check test. 1, 2. Sunny's on, we're good.
Well, welcome to One-on-One, Felix.
Thanks.
Nice to have you here. I guess you have a pretty cool story. I've heard some rumors about how you got to where you are now sailing. But one of them is that you flew over to San Francisco and you snuck into an America's Cup base and tried to find a job. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. That was pretty much the beginning of my whole cup and racing industry. Yeah, because I grew up in Germany and started a boat building apprenticeship. I grew up sailing, and obviously the America's Cup has always been my dream, up there. But I never had the contacts or people who were in the industry. So after my apprenticeship, I was just like, all right, I got to get out there and explore it. And I sent out emails to some teams, but never came an answer. So I was like, all right. So I just booked a flight to San Francisco, rocked up, bought a van, lived in the car with a surfboard, found out where the Oracle base was, and then kind of just scoped it out. And it was all like, where the 72 is super high security and everything. So I rang at the gate. I remember at the big shed and just said, yeah, I'm the postman. And the gate opened. So I just walked in. The door at the base opened. And I just ran in. The first person I saw was like, hey, here's my CV. I'm a boatbuilder from Germany. I just want to get into it. Let me do something. And they were like, whoa, you can't just walk in here like
How
this.
How did you get in here?
Yeah.
Who let you in?
Yeah, exactly. And that was that. And then there was a quick conversation, but it didn't really happen. And I hung out in San Fran for a bit longer, hoping that, there would be
Someone
something.
would give you
but
a job,
it was kind of hard with the visas and they weren't really keen. So after a while, I was like, okay, this is not going anywhere. So I booked a flight to New Zealand and did the same pretty much. Found out the 3 famous boat yards, Cookson's, Core, and just rocked up at the door, did the same thing. Just didn't say I'm the postman,
I
was like,
just
here's
asked
my
to speak
CV.
to someone.
Yeah, exactly. Can I? And they were like, yeah, Doc, we'll keep you in mind. And didn't work
Doing
out
the Kiwi
again.
accent well there as well. Yeah.
I spent 5 years there at the
Nice.
end. And I ended up calling Mick Cookson every Friday. I was like, hey, mate, I'm still in New Zealand. Give me a chance. And at some stage, he was like, all right, just come on Monday and we'll see what we can do. And 3 days later, I had a contract. And that's how I kind of slid into the first Team New Zealand Cup experience. And then from there was just...
What cup was that? Was that for 2013 or 17?
Exactly.
17.
No, 13.
75.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where this kind of...
The foiling
it all
exactly.
started.
It all
and
started.
what a team to be...
Yeah, exactly.
Part of.
So
That's pretty
so that was
cool.
my first introduction, and then from there, it went off really. Yeah, which was pretty cool.
So you did 2013 and 2017 with New Zealand?
No, 2017 with Oracle.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they let you in the door that time.
Yeah, exactly. Then later they let me in the door, and then we built 2 of the 50s in New Zealand, Team Japan back in the day, SoftBank and Oracle.
Yeah, okay.
And then when the boats were finished, they took me here to Bermuda actually. Yeah, and I spent half a year here working with Oracle, getting the 50s ready. And I did the 17 Cup with Oracle. And then the last cup I did was Team New Zealand again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess for people listening, boat building, it's I don't know. I haven't done a lot of it. I try to repair some foils every now and then, but I mean, it must be pretty hard work.
It's super hard work.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You're always in the shed. It's always air conditioning, neon lights. You're always wearing a white suit, a mask. You're grinding. You're gluing. You're just working on all fours, climbing into boats.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it, building prototypes, and especially these prototypes because they're just amazing boats. Yeah. But it's really hard on your body. And at some stage, I realized I was like, okay, building boats is fun. I did it a while, built all sorts of boats. And then I figured the shore crew thing is actually the nicer gig because
you get to go outside.
Exactly.
That's the step
you're
one.
working outside. Exactly. You're working
Daylight
on the boats.
hours.
Exactly. Boats actually in the water. You're a bit on the water action and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then I transitioned into shore crewing a bit. Yeah, with Cup teams and the Volvo.
So with New Zealand
with
in
New Zealand,
2021?
I didn't shore crew then. I just did the build for boat 1 and 2. And then I left Team New Zealand because I had a phase where I was like, I'm over boat building. And I just went back to Germany after 10 years, kind of moved back. And I was like, maybe boat building, I'm just going to stop. But then I was back in Germany and I figured maybe sailing, it is my thing. And then I went back to the TP52s actually. So I did 2 seasons with Platoon as a shore crew member.
So it's a pretty big circuit. I guess TP52s, maybe just give everyone a bit of a spiel about what that sort of program looks like.
The TP52s?
Yeah,
that's the Super Series. I mean, it's in the Northern Hemisphere pretty much, and I think it's 10 to 12 teams as well. And it's pretty cool. They have 6 or 8 events around the Meds mainly.
Pretty good life,
yeah. It's a pretty good life, exactly. And it's the same. You come in early, you have a couple of training days, 5 or 6 days, and I mean, the boat is always in the water, and they're not as high maintenance as the 50s with stepping wings every day, but you're carrying a lot of sails and doing a lot of cleaning and servicing. But also boat deliveries, which is fun.
Yeah, so you didn't sail on the series, you were shore crew, and
shore
then
crew, exactly.
got to sail in between the events.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
A
nice.
little bit here and there,
They look like good boats to sail. I was doing a regatta in Australia, and it was like all classes, and I was on a yacht, which for me, I don't do a lot of yachting. I'm more of a fast boat, small boat.
Fair enough.
And the TP52s were tearing around. I think there was about 6, and I was like, if I was going to sail a yacht, I reckon I'd race the
cool.
TP52.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Looks good.
And I did the Volvo 2018 with AkzoNobel as a shore crew.
Great.
And that was also really fun. You're just traveling around the world. And
What's your favourite stopover?
Good question. Cape Town. I really love Cape Town because Cape Town is an amazing city. Like I'm a kite surfer as well. And for me, that's like the best spot.
Good
I don't
breeze.
know any spot where such consistent strong winds. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think that was fun. And Brazil was actually really fun because it was just a massive party.
I love Brazil.
Yeah,
I have a soft spot for
right?
Brazil. Like I went to the Olympics in Rio, but
nice.
I think it's just, I don't know what it is. It's a bit chaotic, but if you lean in, it's
Brazil
amazing.
so much.
And if you surf and kite surf, it must have been pretty cool.
It's so nice. So I'm hoping that we're actually having a 50, next season in Rio, an event. That would be really cool.
That would be cool. We can dream. Yeah.
We
Cross
will.
our fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done that, and then you joined SailGP when?
My first gig was 2 years ago, I think, exactly. And that was the Sydney stopover, and I was working with a USA team. It was kind of a transition. I came in, they tried me like as a shore crew member, and I was working kind of with Americans, and when they didn't need me, I jumped on with the tech team. So I did like a bit of dual roles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We probably spent some time on the mothership together, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was like my first event for SailGP again, and then with the American team that didn't work out, and then I got a job with the boat building team for the tech team.
The tech team, yeah.
Exactly. Then I worked with the boat builders for a couple of events.
You guys have a tough job, the boat builders at SailGP, like probably when everyone was running into each other too. I mean, they're still running into each other now, but
yeah, exactly. I met some guys from back in the day and stuff, so that was fun. It was nice to be around, but it's also really tough. Yeah, especially like long days and nights and stuff. So you're always repairing and trying to get the boats ready to race. Yeah, it's pretty full on, but it's fun. I love the challenge. Like come in for 10 days and just smash it out, get it done.
And do you have like a pretty good camaraderie with the other tech team, like boat builders? Like, is it kind of like we're all in this together?
Yeah, 100%. Otherwise, I think it wouldn't work because it's so stressful and such long days, and you're jet lagged and you're tired. And if you don't have that vibe, like as a crew vibe going on, you wouldn't actually achieve it all. So yeah, it was always a good group of lads.
And then you went to Switzerland for a little bit.
Exactly. So when the Swiss team started, actually here in Bermuda, they had one extra shore crew person for the first 3 or 4 events just to get them going. So we were 4 people shore crew. And I started with Chris Hill and another German guy, Holger, actually. Yeah, and did the first couple of events with them, did the sea trials for the new boat and stuff. That was really fun. And then they obviously just carried on with 3 people's shore crew. And then I went to the wing team. Yeah, after that.
You've done a lot.
Yeah. I've been around a couple of departments now, and then I was working with the wing teams. I was running the composite departments for them. That was super fun till I had a back injury last year, and then it kind of took me out of the game for half a year.
Backs are the worst.
Yeah.
Like you hurt your back, it's just like you can't do anything you want to do.
I know, you're just at home.
Especially with someone like you and like I'm
like
the same,
us,
like,
right?
where you just want to go.
Exactly, you're always just like, oh, I got to do something.
What do you mean I have to just like lie down?
Just
like
sit down for weeks, like no.
Oh, that would have been rough.
Yeah, so that put me back a bit. But then I did the final in San Francisco with the wing team as well. And then I kind of heard like, oh, there's a German team coming up for the next season.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, wow.
This is like everything that I have been
that would
working
be
for.
really
It's just
cool.
like
work with the German team again. And I had an offer from the Swiss team and I had an offer from the wing team. They were both like, hey, what do you want to do? And I just played my cards a bit open. And then the German team came to San Francisco to train for 10 days, I think.
Yeah,
and I kind
after
of put
the event, right?
Exactly, after the event. And I kind of put my head down and said like, hey guys, I'm keen to do shore crew for you guys just to get my foot in the door a bit. And so did that, met the team, met Eric and everyone. And yeah, from there it went. And then they gave me a job after that. And I started as a chaseboat driver and / shore crew for the team.
And now you're grinding on the F50.
Now I'm grinding on the F50.
How is this like when you think about, I don't know, maybe like when you were in Bermuda in 2017 working for Oracle, that you'd be back in Bermuda grinding on the German, like representing your country?
I could have not ever dreamed about it, to be honest. Yeah, I think that was just above my imagination that this would happen.
This is what my career is, and
yeah.
I get to
if
be
someone
part
would
of
have told
something
me,
cool.
you'll be in Bermuda next year sailing on one of the 50s, I'd be like, I'd love to, but I doubt it. But here I am, and it's so amazing. Yeah.
And maybe that transition, like obviously, I mean, I've seen you around the base like for many years as well, and then you turned up. Sydney was your first event sailing.
Exactly.
How did that happen? Yeah.
It kind of happened. It was a bit random, to be honest. We were training it one day. I think it was in Dubai, or actually in Spain. And Eric was at the back of the boat with one of our grinders. We're launching the wing, and they were talking, and I was walking by, and I heard them say, kind of, we need a new German grinder soon because of the nationality rule as well, and to get someone new on the boat. And I was kind of walking by, and Eric and I, we looked at each other, and he was like, would you be keen to sail? And I was like, me? I was like, 100%. And then I thought it was a bit of a yarn. And then the next day, Leonard, our coach, approached me. He's like, hey, Eric mentioned you might be keen to sail the boat. And I was like, okay, yeah. Wow.
I mean, I would, but like, is this true?
Is this
like,
happening?
Are you having me on
here?
Yeah,
exactly. So I had to sleep about it for a night. And the next day, I just approached both of them and was like, hey, guys, if you give me like a legit chance, just a chance for a trial to test me, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get a personal trainer. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to invest time and money and, gain weight. And then a couple of days later, Eric was like, yeah, I'm keen to give you a chance.
Oh,
like, this is a chance. This is not meaning anything. I was like, I know that's, it's a team decision at the end. And the biggest challenge I had was the weight gain, because usually my weight was like 82 kilos.
Okay. And grinders are like 95.
Exactly. So my other grinder, Yona, the other G1 grinder, he's like at 97, 98 kilos, and we can't be more than 4 kilos apart. So I was like, okay, I have to gain like 14 kilos.
That is a lot of...
That is
like
a lot.
Good mass that you need to build in the right places as well.
Exactly. And while you're working out, while you're exercising, you're training. So I had this with my trainer at this program. I had to eat like 4,000 calories a day.
I was going to say, your food bill must have gone through the roof.
yeah. And he's like, you need protein shakes, you need this and that. And then 5 days a week to the gym. And I was pushing so hard.
Did you enjoy the training? Like, I love the training side, but I feel like doing that fast would be so full on.
Yeah, I enjoyed the training. I was never the gym guy.
Okay.
I was always like staying fit myself, like just doing like press ups and just doing extreme sports and all that stuff. But I've never been like to the gym, like
activity man, not
exactly, not like weightlifting and that stuff. So I'm still trying to get used to that a bit. Okay. It's not my world, but it was good that I had a coach who really showed me how to use everything properly and how to train properly for the grinding. And it was a great challenge. And the eating part was hard, I have to say. Like eating 4,000 is a lot. Like if you're full, you just have to eat another plate.
So James Wisbowski, who's your flight controller, I actually grew up sailing with him.
Oh, nice.
And often, because he was trying to learn how to be a grinder at some point. He's a little bit smaller than you, but I remember him saying to me, because we were on a weight game, and he goes, just like, you got to eat really fast before your body knows you're full. Just keep eating, just don't stop. And then like later it will catch on.
Exactly, and you're just so full. You're like, oh, food coma. But
and then now you got to go to the gym, even though you're so full to the brim.
Yeah.
That's epic. And then you jumped on the boat in Sydney. Had you done any F50 sailing before that?
Never really. Once back in the day with Oracle, they took me out just for the guests.
Joyride, hang onto the tram, don't let go.
Exactly. We're sitting on the tram back in the day and just like have a ride.
Which I can't believe we used to do that.
Yeah, I know, right? And then I actually got on the wheel for like 5 minutes. Slingers was driving back for Oracle then the day, and we were kind of stopping, and I was kind of just take the chance to rock. I was like, hey mate, can I just take the wheel for 5 minutes? I built the whole boat, and it's just so nice as a sailor for me, always was nice when you build a boat and then you actually get to sail it. It's like it makes you just feel alive and you see the boat, and so that was cool.
Like, this is something that I've worked on and for, and I've created it, and now I get to use it.
Now I get to use it and actually and experience it. So that was just one little sail, and I've never really sailed since. And then in Dubai, actually, I jumped on for the first time, just in the was half an hour in the evening. It was my first ever ride. Just jumped on as a grinder and just got a bit like the hang of it, how it all works. And then, Sydney, it was on.
Sydney's a tough one to rock up to. It was gusty. And when it's like gusty and shifty, you actually have to work more because the wing is moving
way more,
right?
Exactly. You're just grinding and pumping. And we didn't have much training, unfortunately, because I think it was all a bit delayed. So we had like an hour before the race or before the practice race. And every minute I felt a bit more comfortable, but it's still obviously a lot to like.
Oh, the learning curve is massive.
Exactly.
Even just the G-forces and knowing how to. I mean, we see the footage on social media most of the time, but when the grinders are running across the front of the boat, just getting used to that. Do you run while the boat's moving, or do you run before? What's your sort of
Yeah, exactly. In the jives, I kind of run when the board goes down, and I run to the wing, and then I hold on to the wing, which is really cool. Then we go through the jive, and you're just standing there. You're like 3 meters elevated above the water, and you're just like,
this is sick.
Holding on, go through the jive, you run over, and then the tags I wait to actually tagged, and then I run over. But you really have to time it well. In certain maneuvers, I cross before the maneuver as well, like in a JK or tag barroway. And if you're a split second late, then you can't hold on anymore. The G-force, like you said, it's so crazy. There's no chance.
You're grateful for your tether, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a bit of a you almost went off in Sydney, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah. Did you pull you back on, or you just went? You just did a cartwheel?
I did yeah. It was my I think it was my second race. Yeah, exactly. And it was attack barroway, and we had a lot of,
which is like the hardest maneuver.
Exactly. We had a lot of comms going on, and I was a bit like, where's it going? And then I just stand by, attack barrow, and I was like, ugh. And I got up and ran, and I heard Dan counting down the board, 3, 2, 1, lock. And as I was coming to the other side, and I got the shroud, and Eric went in the turn, and I couldn't hold on. Yeah. So he just went flying overboard, hugged the boat from the outside, like, I had a split second, I was like, and I got back in the boat, but I was standing on G2 position. I was like, wrong position. No. And then I went to the other side, and then I was a bit like rattled, and I was like grinding, and then we were jibing, and then Dan ran, and I was like, I should be running before Dan. And I'm like, so I put me complete out of sync a bit, and then I ran back over, but I just kind of, just jumped back in the boat and just jumped back on the pumps, and it kind of worked.
Good job getting back in the boat. Like, that would have been...
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, and then I think like a week later, somebody sent me the video, and I was like, I think that was his first event, so don't be too harsh on him. Yeah.
Exactly. I had like an hour on the boat probably, and it was just, a split second
chaotic,
late. And then, but it was good. Like from then on, I was a bit not scared, but we have that in your head a bit. Like I was always really worried that I would.
Again. Yeah,
exactly.
Like
I don't want to run too late, so for the next sail, I always ran a bit early, and then it was like, hey, stay a little bit longer. And I was like, sorry, I'm just like in my mind, but now I've got my bearings right again, and it feels good. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you guys are obviously, I mean, the team's improving a lot. You've got. You're new to the league, but I mean, it looks like you've got a really nice team. Like it looks like you kind of stay in your tent a little bit, but it seems like a really nice team to be a part of. Obviously, like you're German, you're representing your country, and I'm sure like that's been really enjoyable to kind of.
It is. Yeah, I have to say it's a really, really nice team. I really enjoy working with them. As from the beginning, as a shore crew member, it was a really nice vibe. It was actually one of the nicest teams I've ever worked with, I have to say, because we have such a good energy. There's no like big egos or like everyone's working together, everyone's doing every job, everyone's super motivated. I mean, we're a fresh team, so we are motivated, obviously.
And you can kind of like set like what culture you want from the beginning. It's not like you're pulling people in. It's like, this is our team, this is what we want.
Yeah.
And also, like, I guess being a shore crew member, being a bow builder, and now being a sailor, it's probably good because you like respect the shore crew, respect the tech team, and like can bring that to the team, like that perspective.
Exactly. And I always like try to show a lot of pride always in my work anyway, but now as a sailor as well, I always try to check the areas, and I'm still doing a bit of double roll. I come in early to do the build of the boat. So because we know how we like to set up the boat, and I really try to like make sure everything is, nice, that the boat is a really nice day, so we go out there and we don't have any delays because like sailing time is so minimal. And but Eric, I think, did a really nice job with like setting up this team, and there's some very talented sailors. I think I can learn so much right now, and all the debriefs, and it's so cool.
Yeah, what are the debriefs like? Because I guess you kind of like, very long. They make the day long, I guess. But because like as a shore crew member, you probably like know they're having debrief, maybe hear a few things. As a sailor, you might pick some stuff up, but like being there, staring at the data, looking at every maneuver, must be intense.
It's intense, and there's so much going on, like from exactly like you said, from the data, about the maneuvers, about the stats, then also about like personal development. We do some stuff which is really cool. Where do we want to be in the future as individuals, as a team? There's so many points around the whole campaign, and like how are we setting up our team. It's super interesting to see all that part.
And I guess like you've come such a long way. It's pretty epic, and I think like what I'm a big believer in is like you kind of sometimes the universe will be pushing you in a direction, but you've got to walk through the door, and you've got to take that chance, and you've got to work really hard. And
agree.
It sounds like you've lived that from the very beginning, but like sailor as a kid, thinking that it was kind of not going to happen, not having that knowledge, like as a sailor, you're going to have that knowledge. But like, what would you say to Felix, who was thinking about booking his flight for San Francisco back in, I don't know what it was, 2010 or something like that?
Yeah. I know. I think that was just always a part of me that I've kind of like, I always say like being real, in life. It was just always me, and I've been always just wanting to take the adventure and take the risk as well. I didn't have any money. I didn't have anyone I knew, but I was just like, I'm up for the adventure, I'm just going to go out there because I know it's just not going to fall in my lap if I don't go out there and present myself and push hard. And I've had a couple of situations in my life where I realized if you really give like 100%, not like 99, but 100, and you really commit to something, you can actually achieve a lot. Like if you're just committing and you're just pushing yourself. And I always told myself, just be real, be yourself. don't pretend you're someone or don't sell yourself too high.
Be who you are, yeah.
Exactly, be who you are and just stick to that, work hard, play hard, and then, it's all worked out in a way,
and
I guess.
think
Thanks, universe.
Yeah, thanks, universe, and thanks, Eric.
yeah, 100%.
But I guess,
and the team.
Yeah,
for also taking me on, yeah.
How was, I think confidence is big, right? Like, to be able to believe that you could go up to Eric and Lenny and just say, I think I can do this. Do you think that was that a hard thing to do? Or were you like, no, I actually can do this? Or what were you thinking?
Good question. I actually don't know. I think I am pretty confident in myself, but it was also a kind of a step to go towards them. But I also knew, just go out and try.
You never know.
You never know.
Worst case, you go back to shore crew, which you really enjoy as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if they give me a chance, just if I get to sail the boat once, and then the crew's like, nah, sorry, you're not fitting in, and I'll be at least I had a chance once, on the boat, and I tried. So I think it wasn't, I just thought, I just felt comfortable also with Eric and the vibe, and I knew they were very, exactly. And I knew they were serious about it, so I was kind of,
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great hearing your story, and I'm really excited to see how your team evolves, and I'm sure you're still eating plenty of food and working pretty hard.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And
after every event, I'm like, okay. After I go with the boat, I'm like, okay, I have to work harder. I have to get fitter. But it's super good motivation. So I'll keep pushing, and we'll keep pushing as a team, and hopefully get some good results for this season still, and then we're off.
To see where it takes you.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy it, and
thanks.
I'm really stoked we got to chat, because that's a really cool story.
Yeah,
and,
thank you so much for having me.
No worries.
Yeah, in your beautiful office.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always like this. Our first one was in Christchurch, and I think I had about 8 layers on, so I'm much preferring the Bermudan lifestyle.
Agreed.
But have a great weekend. And,
thank you. You too.
Thanks everyone for tuning in on One-on-One. That was with Felix van den Hoven, I think. Is that how you say your last name? My last name's hard to say, so I feel like you can say it.
Van den Hövel.
Okay, so the Australian accent butchered that, so I won't try that again. But
that's all good.
We'll call you Felix. Thanks for coming down to our podcast. And if you're listening, make sure you subscribe to our Spotify, to our YouTube, all of our channels where you're pushing lots of content up, and let me know what else you want to hear. I'm Lisa Darmanin.